I am super excited today to partner up with Diabetes Daily and answer the question of how to prevent nighttime lows. So I got 5 tips for all of you, and if you don't know who I am, this is Eric Dowds, and I have been a type 1 diabetic for 10 years and been touring across the US for a full year. And so I got some decent tips on how to actually conquer these nighttime lows and make it so we all have a smooth sleep every single night. So let's come closer and talk about it a little bit more. Alright, tip number 1 is to eat dinner earlier. Why this is important is actually reduce the amount of insulin on board, or IOB is what you might see it as. If you're not aware, insulin acts in your body for about 4 hours, and so if you're able to have dinner earlier before bedtime, you reduce how much actual insulin's in your body and therefore prevent lows. So if you started having dinner at 8 and went to bed at 10, I'd recommend bumping that down to 6 p.m. so that way when you fall asleep at 10 o'clock, you don't have that much insulin on board. Alright, for tip number 2, for those that sounds difficult and are snackers like myself, the tip I have is to have a high-fat snack. So either have some milk or yogurt, or for those of you who might be a vegan, is to have some peanut butter. And if you do have peanut butter, I recommend having a brand that doesn't add sugar to it. Now, why you have a high-fat snack right before bed is that it'll slowly break down throughout the entire night, helping elevate your blood sugars and preventing those lows. It's pretty self-explanatory. Alright, tip number 3 actually is wear a continuous glucose monitor. Now, I actually don't wake up to a lot of my lows, and I didn't know that until I wore a CGM. And for those of you unaware, a continuous glucose monitor takes your blood sugar every 5 minutes. And so when you wake up, you can actually see what happened overnight, but more importantly is that you can get alerts, which is fantastic. So you can set that threshold and you can start having alerts at 75, at 70, and preventing some of those really terrible lows that maybe actually woke you up and sweaty and a panic, and that's what's fantastic about them. And overall, you actually can take this information and learn how to prevent your lows. And that leads me to tip number 4, which is to get a journal. My good friend Lauren Bongiorno, she just created her own journal for the type 1 diabetic community. And what's amazing is you can start recognizing patterns. So if you realize that your lows are all happening at 1 o'clock, you can talk to your endocrinologist about this, and they'll probably recommend looking 2 hours before that and adjusting your basal settings. So realizing when your lows are happening is really important information that is really knowledge for you. Alright, tip 5 is for the advanced user, and this is automation. So I'm actually on the do-it-yourself Artificial Pancreas, and luckily this is now available for everyone through the Medtronic 670G. We're starting to have systems that actually can take our continuous glucose information and make adjustments automatically to your basal rates to hopefully prevent those nighttime lows. So while you're slumbering away, your systems can be adjusting those basal rates to prevent lows in the first place. And what's actually pretty incredible is on the flip side, they actually prevent highs as well. So check that out, 670G, and hopefully more systems become available to us. But as an overview, tip number 1 is to have dinner early. Tip number 2 is have a high-fat snack. Tip 3, did I say continuous glucose monitor? And tip 4 is a journal. Tip 5, for those of you who have access to it, is to use an automated system to actually prevent those lows. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a comment below, ask your questions, and hopefully I can partner up with Diabetes Daily again to make one of these videos to answer our hottest questions. So thank you very much. And remember is that you can do anything, go anywhere, and check out dietbadass.com if you want to see the adventures that I am up to. Alright, see you everyone.
You captured the audience, which is good. So I give you 8.5 as well.
Wow, that's a terrific score. Nicely done.